Okay, I got 4 questions tonight, and the first one that I want to address, since it'll help me warm up a little bit, is how to stay tension-free in your swing. And the reason I sawed this orange whip in half was to increase tension in my left arm and decrease it in my right. So it's not about staying tension-free, it's about having tension in the right places. So I want my left lat to be a little bit more tense than my right one. I've heard some trains of thought where you have 2 X's going from your left hip up to your right shoulder and your right hip up to your left shoulder. And, you know, managing the tension and the shift of tension in the golf swing, and that's too much for me to think about. So I like to think about the left hip to the right shoulder being my bowstring, right? So you need tension in a bowstring to make the bow go, or the arrow go farther and faster, right? So I want my left side to be tighter than my right. So my right side is my feel side, and my left side is my bowstring. So now that I got that kind of squared away, been testing this out. It's a old wedge that I had, and I have the training grip on there. So now that I have that feel of my right or my left side, you know, being the bowstring and my right side being my feel side, I just get into it and feel out that differential in speed. And for me, my feel is my left elbow stays kind of bent, so my left elbow is what gets to the ball first, and then as I keep turning, my left arm extends and it goes up and back around me. So let's hit a few here, just getting warmed up, going at that blue pole out there to keep me an honest man. There we go. Getting my left elbow out a little bit, feeling the club going a little bit more vertical. Okay, a little thin. This turf is not ideal, so I'm gonna err on the side of hitting it thin. To do that, I feel like the club is going upside down a little bit, so I nick the stick if I can. There we go. Feel that a couple times. Let the ball get in the way. There we go. So, since I punched a hole through the top of this grip here when I was putting it on, because it didn't want to go on very easily, the swing weight of this club is, I don't even know what it is, but it's very head heavy, so I'm hitting shots a little bit higher with it. So nick the stick a couple times, feel that out. Sometimes it's easier for me to get shallow when I feel like I set up with my left shoulder lower. So my right trap is really like my level in terms of what shot I want to hit. So if I'm here, I'm probably going to get steep. But if I'm here, I have an easier chance of making good contact. So there, feel my left shoulder a little bit lower. Yeah, still super high. I don't care. It's more of just getting acclimated with the club. Okay, so 4 questions, let me think. Tension-free, low point was the next one. All right, so that's my low point hack, is my right trap. So with a driver, you know, got a little bit more side bend, a little bit more lean, but then you have to understand the implications of the release then too. So if I'm here and I have a lot of side bend, I have to swing way out to the right just so I don't get over the top. So if I'm here, I have to feel like I'm swinging over there and typically hit it fat like I just did there. So it depends on the club, length of the club that you're hitting. Hit one more of these. Get that left shoulder a little lower. There we go. Okay. Now. Let's hit a few longer irons. So I hit a 7-iron. Just to show you the difference in shoulder tilt. So that was a 50-degree wedge, which I would be more like this, have my shoulders level so my right trap can go more around. This is a 7-iron, so I'm going to be a little bit more tilted here. A lot of low point control too for me is dictated by my heel or toe bias at address. So if I'm getting steep, it's usually because my hands are a little bit too low and then the toe does one of these. Whereas if I have it set up like this, it's you know, going down the line with a little bit more of the bounce active. So if I'm here, I'm probably going to hook it, and it's probably going to be a little bit steeper. So that's a draw bias. If I want to cut it and get a little bit more shallow, nicking a stick with the toe down like this is a lot easier than being here, more of a thud, right? So here, get a little bit more toe down. Money. Good googly moogly. Alright, one more 7-iron. If I want to hit it higher, I get a little bit further behind it. Just like this. Let's throw this one up there a little bit. Okay. So, next question was the swinging and the hitting of the club. And that is understandable because golf is hard. So, I've used the association of the dog and the leash before, because that's the difference between baseball and golf essentially, is the club head gives the shaft an attitude, so what you're holding on to is not what the club head is doing. So a lot of baseball players will get here and then go over the top because they got to throw their hands out at the ball when it's coming in. But golf is different because the club is doing this down through the ball, so it's not lagging behind, it's doing this, right? So when the handle starts to change direction and come up, it decelerates and it adds speed to the club head, which makes it do this. Makes the fish want to go under the boat. The dog is chasing a squirrel in between your legs, whatever, right? So with that in mind, a square club face really means that yeah, it's right here, and that's what you set up to, but that's not where it's going to be through the swing. It's going to want to do this, right? So if I get set up here and I just try and go from square to square, yeah, my bad. I actually hit that one good. I don't know. Let me just try and hit good shots. So I give a lot of my students the feel of swinging down first base line to square up the club face. So if I'm here, I want to feel like over there at impact. So here, since this is a longer club, I'm going to have a little bit more right side bend. Feeling out there. So when it squares up, it's just going back to where I want it. Okay. One more. Also, tee up your irons whenever you can. Like on the tee box, don't tee it so low that you have to take a nice divot. Get good at hitting your irons off of a higher tee so you don't have to deal with the implications of poor low point control when you're trying to hit a target. So there, I know the fish wants to go under the boat. So here, feeling this at impact rather. So I'll do this rehearsal every now and again. Okay, so it's a lot easier to hit the ball straight when you know what the club wants to do, not what you want it to do. You get set up to that. All right. And last, one of my buddies says his effing driver. Okay, all right. So, another analogy I have for hitting the driver, especially woods, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're hitting the ball with the windshield, but the bricks in the trunk are going to be what makes the windshield get to where you want it to be. So if you're just looking at the windshield, it's more of an inanimate object and a concept than it is an actual physical thing. So this is the physical thing. This is a concept, right? So I hit cuts with my driver. I want it to cut. I don't want to practice anything else. So the bricks in the trunk are back around here. This is the center of mass of the driver, back near the toe. So being mindful of that dog on the leash, the fish that's going under the boat, we're bottoming out back here. So that fish starts to do one of these back here. So I get set up like this to my driver, and I'm trying to nick the stick with the bottom of my driver. So there, fish wants to start going underneath the boat right about there. So I'm here. Okay. Pushed it a little. Actually get lined up here. But getting set up to the ball and hitting shots becomes a lot easier when you understand the dynamics of the club before you try and, make a move on it. So go with that blue pole, If it goes between that blue and that blue, I'm fine with that. So aim at that blue, that's where I want it to start. There. Feeling the bricks in the trunk, flinging the club up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, pulled it a little bit. So when I pull it like that and it goes straight, I'm fine with that. I just need to open the face a little bit more so it cuts. I like to hit a pull cut with my driver. So there, open it up even more. So I'm there. Feeling more out to first base. Yeah, there we go. Hit one more good one. So again, this drill is great with the driver because you want to feel the weight at the back of your swing being like the trigger. So I'm really trying to throw it out this way. So I'm getting here and doing one of those just so the club head releases at the right time. So we'll be here. Open it up a little bit more. Down first base line. Again, these are all just my feels, but they're rooted in physics. That's a good one. All right. One more, just for good measure. Same feel. Worried about hitting this thing. There's a good note. If you feel uncomfortable, back off. Get set up. Have a good cadence. Bum, 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 bum. So I almost feel like my driver is going upside down through the ball to get it going down that first base line with my right hand. So here, set up there. Yep. Okay. It's a good one to end on. That's it.